All right, guys, I wanted to check in with you and remind you that we are now in our week for our very first exam. So, again, just pulling up our syllabus, right? We scroll down. Oops, I went a little too fast there, right? We have our first exam coming up, and it's going to be due this coming Sunday. So, what does that mean? What does that entail? And what will be on the exam? So the first thing I want you to know is that the big blue line on our syllabus, right, and everything you've been covering up into exam one is what is liable to be on the exam. So this will cover chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Again, why you have so much material to work through, why you have the different modules, which I'm going to walk through again in just 1 second, why I have a placeholder for those readings for you, even though you are not earning credit for the readings, is to guarantee that you do read the chapters, because everything between page 1 of that chapter and the last page of that chapter, all of the graphs, all of the um, case studies, all of the different pictures, all of the different definitions, all of the different values, the dates, all of those things are liable to be open as a possibility to being on the exam. So again, reading the book gives you the best guarantee. And the best part is, guys, the book isn't that hard to read. It's only at max maybe 10 pages per chapter. Big font, lots of pictures, right? So again, really, you're only probably reading 6 to 7 pages at max for a particular chapter. So let's go back into our modules. Let's scroll down, right, to the modules themselves, and let's again see what we have. So again, we have the whole kit and caboodle, right, for chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. So you should be able to click on this to go directly to the book, right? This is just a fail-safe, brings you to the book. So I know, okay, I've got to read this particular chapter. Okay, so I'm going to go into it. And again, you don't receive any points for reading the chapter. But I put it in there for you because, again, there's only so many ways, so many videos, so many announcements, so many postings, so many activities that I can force you to do to really get you to understand that you have to read this material. And again, there's a lot of other resources here. There's also inside of this module, if we go back, right, is that I have a PowerPoint for you. So you can absolutely download the PowerPoint. Maybe you want to have the chapter open. And then what else do we have? We have maybe sometimes, some of us like podcasts, some of us like audiobooks, some of us like to have somebody speaking to us. Now, I apologize, it's a very robot voice, but you can have somebody read out loud by clicking on this button here, right? And you can just have the book read to you. And then maybe you want to fill in, right, some aspects of the PowerPoint. Let's just open that up. Best case scenario would be to download it, right? You wouldn't want to operate on it from here. But you could download this, have it open, ready to go, and then you could be just adding in your notes as the thing is reading to you, right? You also have inside of here the overall learning outcomes. So what do I tell students? These are the big 10,000, 30,000 foot view of what you should be able to move through by the time this chapter is done. Okay, well, that doesn't really help me, Dr. Varga. I don't really know what types of like multiple choice questions you're going to ask or what should I be prepared for. Again, this is why you have the Smart Book. And again, where students hate that activity, it makes sure that you have proficiency in the material. Now, because I can't guarantee that you only use the Smart Book, I have quizzes, I have homework, because I'm trying to really force you in the best way that I know how in a virtual space to tell you these are only just temporary things to give you information than the entirety of just going and reading this chapter. because it doesn't matter how many times I tell students this over the 10 years I've been teaching this course. They won't read it. And then they'll sit down and take the exam and they'll be like, nothing that I studied for was on the exam. And my first question always is, did you read the chapter? Now, whether they're going to be honest with me or not, that's a different discussion. But at this point in time, this is the only way I can guarantee, because I'm not in class with you, that you are obtaining the information from this course, right? Because again, you chose this class because it fit your schedule. You chose this class because you may be in another location. You may be deployed. You may be working out of state, right? This fit for you. But if we were face to face, we would be going over this material in class. So again, the modality of how you chose this, I still have to make sure that this information is going in, and I have to give you an examination and some other assignments to make sure you're passing. And, the college says good stuff. You're good to go. You can be done with this course. So let's go back to then, what are some other resources? Again, in the beginning of this semester, I made you walk through these opening modules. Why? Because there's information in here for how to set yourself up for success. What do I mean? It's literally right here in the start here. So success for this class. Please read. How do I pass this? If you really want to know what students think of this class and what they wish they would have done differently, this is it. These are not my words. This is not AI generated. I have to be graded at the end of the semester by you guys. This is feedback from students, anonymous feedback. I don't know who wrote this. This is just anonymous feedback that I found to be valuable for myself and to be valuable to other students so that you can see, yeah, I should have done more reading, or yes, I should have put in a little bit more time, or I should have scheduled myself. And are there some feedback points in here that are for me, like, this is a lot of work, this is exhausting, yes, absolutely. And again, I know that this course is intense for the amount of work you have to do, but if you set yourself up, Monday I'm going to read, Tuesday I'm going to do the smart book, Wednesday I'm going to do the homework, Thursday I'm going to take the quiz, Friday I don't do anything, I enjoy myself, Saturday I'm going to do the lab, Sunday I take a break, right? So you can set yourself up. But if you're waiting until the end of the weekend to do it all, yeah, this is going to be a lot of material, right? So let's go back to exam. This is just a suggestion. Notice I have it broken up. Suggested schedule for non-exam weeks. Well, we're in an exam week now. So if you haven't been using this, no big deal. You don't have to use it, right? But maybe you want to look at the suggested schedule for the exam week because now we're on Tuesday. So this is just, again, there are things in here, I promise you, that I want you to be successful in this class. I want you to pass it. I don't want you to have to take it over and over and over. But again, there is this responsibility component that you've got to seek out this information for yourself. But I promise you it's there. And if you cannot find it, please, please, please schedule time with me in office hours. I promise I'm here to help you. Door is open. You can stop by my office anytime, right? And if those times don't work for you, let me know. We can absolutely set some time up otherwise. Okay, so then going back to modules, what I am also going to open for you as well, right? You can go back in. Last thing I will also say is if you're not reading or if you haven't been reading, maybe you want to go back, skim and scan. Maybe you want to have your PowerPoint open, ready to go. Maybe you want to go back to the smart books because you can go back once you've completed them and you can recharge them. You're going to see very similar questions that you've already done, but now it's the full gamut of all of the different smart book questions. So you may see a couple different ones here or there, right? The last thing here that I'm going to put open that is not open as of this moment, but I'm going to open right now and open today, right, is I'm going to open this little study guide for you. Please take this with a grain of salt. This is not all the material. The only way you're going to guarantee the success on this exam is, you know the answer, reading the chapter. And again, if you saw the book in real life, it's only yay thick, right? We're talking very minimal amount of reading here. Have your PowerPoint, maybe have it read to you, go over it, fill in the PowerPoint, get those details. The last thing I want to say to you is this. do not go back over information you know. The biggest mistake I see with students is that if they're in class, right? I watch those students that I can see, they complete the whole exam and then they sit and they're like, uh-oh, I've still got 35 minutes left of my exam. I probably did screw up. I should go back and start changing answers. Trust yourself. If you know the information, if you feel confident with what's being presented to you about a specific topic, chapters 1.1 or 1.2, don't reread it. Don't go back through it. You feel good about it. Go to the stuff you don't know, and that's where you should spend the time. So again, my suggestion, go back up, go to the overall again. Where am I at here? She suggested schedule. Go down to the exam week because now you're completing chapter 4 for this week, but you're also studying. So maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? You're reading again. You've already completed all the assignments for chapters 1 through 3, so you don't have to worry about those. You just have to complete chapter 4, right? So maybe you're reading chapter 1 and 2, or you're skimming and scanning chapters 1 and 2 again, Monday and Tuesday, chapters 3, maybe, or I'm sorry, chapter 3, tomorrow, right? And then Thursday, you're going to dedicate to reading chapter 4. You're going to complete the smart book and maybe the homework. Friday, you're going to do the quiz. Saturday, you're going to do the lab, and maybe now you're just going to look through the PDFs. Now you're just going to look through the PowerPoints, right? Now you're just going to go over things again. Sunday, the exam is due by 11:59 p.m. It will close at 11:59 p.m. You will be in lockdown browser, so you cannot go to any outside resources. And the last thing I want to say here is, if you open the exam to take a peek, it will not allow you to close it. Whatever you close it is, 0. If you do not have proof by screenshotting that you were closed out for some technical issue, a 0 is what you're going to get. So again, be ready to sit down and complete this exam when it is time to sit down. Give yourself a reduced environment. Go to a place that you know the internet is going to work. Do not start taking this at 11:30 at night. It closes at 11:59. Not, I started at 11:30, so I'll be able to do it within, it doesn't matter, I got it started before midnight. No, it closes at 11:59 p.m. So wherever you are, that's the end, right? So please make sure to set yourself up. The last thing you're going to see is that the exam is going to open tomorrow at 9 a.m. Now, why would you open it early, Dr. Parker? Well, because some of you work on the weekends, right? Some of you work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So again, if you're not prepared to take the exam, then I wouldn't recommend taking it or trying to open it Wednesday or Thursday. This again comes back to your responsibility of ownership of time management. Because you're not sitting in the class with me and we're moving methodically through and I just have to show up and take the exam. You have to schedule the time for yourself. So again, this is just really a time management course, learning how to time manage here. If you have any questions, remember you still have Thursday to meet with me during office hours. If that time does not work, please let me know. We can possibly set some time up, for tomorrow or Friday if otherwise. But besides that, you are good to go. Exam will open tomorrow at 9 a.m. Do not open it if you are not ready to take it, because once you close it, you are done. And again, exam must be completed and finalized by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. All right, good luck. Any questions, make sure you reach out. And again, look for the resources inside of your Canvas shell. I promise you it's there. All right, have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.